Okay, so let's see. Right now I feel like whenever we see a great sword on the screen, we always have to talk about how are we going to do post nerfs. What's gonna happen here? We're gonna see how Monihalla is gonna be able to control space, and I feel like whenever Monihalla is on the screen, he is defined by whether or not he's able to get his strings, he's able to get his dodge reads, and he's able to get his combos. Because when he does, his damage output is absolutely ridiculous. Also, man, that new great sword skin goes crazy.
Yeah, you bring the great lightsaber into the fold here, and it definitely doesn't look strange at all compared to like the other regular lightsabers that are in the game. I like it a lot. I think it has its own aura, despite being like typically thinner than like the giant greatswords that we normally see. Especially Popsicle Popsicle's gigantic. Almost catches with the recovery on the turnaround. Isn't able to punish the landing before Hybrid touches the ground after being in sweat beads. The backside of that axe recovery does make a hit. We see sweat beads.
Oh.
He went down for the recovery. I was seeing in my mind's eye that we were going to get a GCD light into the ground pound. I don't think he was very comfortable in where Hybrid was going to be. There's one that we see for
He's got
Hybrid.
it down as well. Monihalla going to go all the way up to the ground and is going to be able to make it back on. Okay, Hybrid, GCD light recovery, nicely done. Just making sure that Monihalla is deprived of a weapon. He's hungry. He's picking up the axe, and if it's Monihalla, he gets an end light. He always does so well with the axe, and then he throws it away. Like, there you go. He connected two end lights. That end light at the ledge is so powerful, so disjointed. More than enough to be able to get the stock off. And then just opting for the greatsword.
Yeah, I think that's he seems to have not made more of a transition over onto the axe after the greatsword nerfs came through. Like, obviously he had his like major doomer tweet about like, oh no, what am I gonna do now after the nerfs came through, and we thought that like, okay, he's gonna lean on the axe a little bit more, and I think he is somewhat leaning on the axe a little bit more, but it's still like, I'm going to use one individual move at a time that happens to be good for this opportunity, rather than like finding what opportunities I would if I was an axe player, right? Like, he's still not an axe player. He's a greatsword player who like also has an axe as his secondary weapon, but it is definitely a very secondary weapon. And of course, Imugi still has all of the great signatures that Monihalla used a long time ago and has been using throughout his career. His D-Light into the side air. Oh, the dodge back to the stage, and there's the side air from Hybrid. We're sort of back to resetting neutral.
Monihalla dashing in, dashing out, just waiting for Hybrid to give that opening. Hybrid overshooting with the side light down bridge. Okay, Monihalla's greatsword, his precious greatsword, gets knocked away. He is once again left weaponless. Hybrid goes through the weapon toss. GC side light not going to find its connection. Monihalla able to get the double weapon spawn, so he's able to get his preferred weapon once again.
Ooh, he gets the neutral and actually dodges back onto the stage. Still holding his corner, gets the down air and the stock. He is still very much in the red, but one thing that Polly and AJ were talking about earlier is, like, specifically with this stage and a Gauntlet player, I believe it was Hybrid playing at the time, but I can't remember. It was a Gauntlet player regardless. It's like, okay, well, you don't really have the Gauntlet recovery as an option to KO off the top. Like, obviously, it will, but you don't want to be relying on that.
Especially against Imugi. Yeah,
exactly.
It'll take a while.
But you're still Wushang, so you have the signature kit in your hand. And that's sort of the thing, like, with Monihalla on Imugi after the greatsword nerfs. You still have an amazing signature kit that Monihalla uses all the time. There's the side air from Hybrid. That's going to even up the stocks here, but there's quite a bit of damage left here. Yeah, he tried to get like that instant landing back onto the stage. That was a little bit dangerous. Monihalla now is being patient, picking up his greatsword once again. The question is, how is he going to be able to close out the stock? He's not in down recovery range, not yet, I believe. He's going for the side sig finisher, and that was so good. Let me tell you why that was good. I believe that was his one and only signature that he threw out for that entire... Oh, it was not? He threw another side sig out. I can't remember if he threw out more than that, but he did throw out side sig, and it also hit, I believe. I can't remember if it, we can look at the... Yes. So he threw out two.
He did hit.
One of which was that one, and then the previous side sig that we saw. Both of them hit. He had 100% signature accuracy, but still it was rare. It was absolutely rare.
Which is good. This is actually a good sign for Monihalla, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why. I have seen a lot of Monihalla sets. I quite frankly think that he is maybe a few months to a year away from being a top 3 in NA, and that's a very bold opinion. The thing that holds him back is I have seen him lose countless sets due to, you know, throwing out a lot of really unsafe signatures, them not connecting, him getting punished for it, and then him not being able to actually find his KOs. That side sig was really good simply because he didn't use it that much. Hybrid was not ready for it. Hybrid wasn't expecting it when he ended up dodging out. And so Monihalla, he got it, he got that stock. His strings are on point today. He's getting his KOs. He's not, you know, being too reckless with the signatures. That's the Monihalla I want to see.
I'm going to disagree with you on that and think that Monihalla and say that Monihalla is not going to be a top 3 in North America. I definitely don't think it's going to happen this year with the likes of like Marky Moo and Balloon Boy, potential for Sandstorm to be in there, Flower to be in there. Because like right now Monihalla is sitting at number 9. And even though he gets the stock off of Hybrid here very early into this game without taking a lot of damage, it was less than a 40-second stock. I think there's just like a lot of really solid talent in North America. It may not be like grand finals level talent if we're comparing it to like the top players of South America, if we're looking at like Hughes and Kaina and like Godly if we're looking at Europe. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's going to be really tough for him to break into that top 3. That's exactly
my call out right now. Right. Oh my gosh, he's able to get 5 consecutive hits. The weapon toss out there as well. Monihalla just opting to play it safe, dodging past the neutral, making it back on. Look at this stock lead that he has against Hybrid at the moment. Sidelight, he goes for the reverse end light, not going to be able to connect it. Hybrid needs to get something going now. Neutral, he's not able to catch the dodge. Normally you'd cover that with like an end light, but he just went up high.
Ooh, rip that D-Sig a little bit too early while Hybrid was far enough away from him. That meant that Hybrid had the time to not only get in, but also throw out the move that he needed to while the signature still had Monihalla in with lag.
He was allowed to use a stock up and the N-Sig calling him out. That was amazing. Hybrid was just not ready for it. Monihalla, I mean, what a way to call out somebody getting off of the platform. You know, that was bold.
Yeah, he saw the weapon spawn coming in, and you saw that Hybrid was approaching it from the air. If you go with like an axe recovery to catch him in the air there, like, yeah, you might have to like move back a little bit since it moves you at that 45-degree angle. The rare Wushang down sig coming out, and one of the reasons we see it very rarely is because it doesn't hit very often. And Monihalla has weapon advantage, did the great string on Greatsword, now is pushing the axe damage as well.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Hybrid with the best possible punish. Held onto that side sig. Just the very edge of that weapon toss. Hybrid. Okay.
Right.
I don't know what that was. Yeah.
All right, man.
Okay. Monihalla able to get the neutral anti-air. How is he going to get this landing? How is he going to get the stock? Okay. Guys. I don't like this. This is what I'm talking about. You see that?
I understand.
It doesn't connect.
I understand what Hybrid was going for in that moment. He's like, I need to get a big punish. I'm a full stock behind. I'm very much in red on final stock. The signature punish here would be like a game-changing move in that moment, so he had to jump over, he had to get around and behind Monihalla before he could charge up the signature, which has that minimum charge time more than like a light attack would, but you're risking more, you're also being rewarded more if it hits. Unfortunately, the timing just wasn't there and he wasn't able to do it in time. Ended up losing the stock, a 2-stock for Monihalla, and he seems basically unstoppable if you're coming from the POV of Hybrid right now.
That was so funny. I don't think Hybrid had his dodge. He used his dodge immediately. So using up your dodge immediately as like a recovery tool is like kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Because of course, like you want to use up the tool that has a refresh as soon as possible. You want to dodge in immediately so that you can get it back. But then in that case, you have to get back onto stage without a dodge. Normally the dodge is the most important way that you avoid a weapon toss. And then Monihalla was able to get the double weapon toss. So that was a really good recognition on his end, by the way. He saw the burnt dodge, he saw Hybrid's angle, and he was like, you're not gonna fast fall here. If you jump, you're gonna get hit by this anyways. And then he was able to get the edge guard onto Hybrid nonetheless. So he's up 2 games. I feel like Hybrid does not have a lot of momentum right now in the set.
Yeah, definitely not after last game. If he did have any in his favor at one point, it seemingly was completely evaporated by the time the last game was over. The 2-stock was devastating. That's like a huge statement piece. Monihalla seemed to have complete control over it, even though he like whiffed a couple critical signatures there. Like it didn't seem to matter in the long run. Nice downer to get the landing, and they basically swapped stage control.
Okay, eating the downer, nice way to be able to punish that end light. Hybrid, how are you going to find some of these openings? Landing with the sail, very nicely done. D-Light not going to be able to connect with the GC. D-Light recovery will Monihalla at a deficit for the first time. Hybrid at a lead for the first time, and he's playing quite well.
I actually really love what he just did. The D-Light, I don't know if he meant that to be a bait. He could have absolutely meant it to be a bait in that moment so that Monihalla would come over in the attempt to either just recover or punish. The axe recovery is going to get the KO there. Man, axe recovery right over the corner is so frustrating when you're not the axe player.
Spiky, it's so funny. Every single time Monihalla has axe, I see him connect everything he's looking for. Like his hit accuracy with is amazing, and then he always throws it away for the great sword anyways. And he prefers the great sword. That's what he plays. That's what he does.
Imagine like he's secretly low-key the world's best axe player of all time, but because he just doesn't
He just
like
chooses
it,
not to be. He just doesn't like it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like a top 8 player in North America because of that. It's like some weird cursed monkey's paw type beat.
Yeah, you don't choose the thing that you succeed in. You succeeded, but at what cost? At being an axe player, much to Sparky's dismay, because I'm a Blastoise player, I hate axe. Anyways, Monihalla, how do you get back on here? Okay, Hybrid still gonna be able to punish, holding onto the ground pound. The back hit of the recovery is still gonna be able to hit him. Hybrid able to punish. There's so many recoveries flying. Everybody's pressing all their heavy attacks right now.
He's gonna do it again. I thought he was just gonna do the exact same thing, dip off the stage,
spacing.
and do the recovery back towards it. Oh, almost got the hit off of that when Hybrid dipped down a little bit too low in terms of safety. Hybrid's still holding on to this tiny little lead that he has. If Monihalla can grab a weapon. Oh, all right. He's just going to catch him jumping with a dash jump recovery. Here's a 2-piece, 3-piece from Hybrid. He's not able to find the side air. Now he's stuck over on the wall. What does Monihalla got here? Okay, a classic. Basically doing exactly what he does with the axe. He dips off the stage, turns around, does the recovery back towards the stage. Doesn't matter if he has axe, doesn't matter if he has greatsword. He does the same thing, and then after that, he finds the KO.
Really positions without having to commit too much. So now the game is just about even. Hybrid needs to get a game to be able to put himself onto the map here. Monihalla dashing in, dashing out. Hybrid finding a side light. Okay, side light and light down. That is so much damage being dealt onto Hybrid here. Oh, tries to go for the
dodge
pivot.
He got the dodge after that, but somehow Hybrid was able to get away from it.
The dodge
there's
that
the
was the
3-piece,
catch.
and that's the stock. Yep. He got it there.
Wow. So that is going to be a confident Leo, a dominant Leo. Oh, was that a thumbs down? That was a thumbs down. That's pretty
That
good.
was a thumbs down in the post-game log. All right, Sandwick, why am I so red? What are we doing here? Look, I'm gonna move my head up.
Sparky, I'm gonna be honest with you. That's your lighting, man. That's your lighting, buddy. That is
It's not. I
what
can
you
see
do.
my camera. I can.